So we're going to start off with Aedes tenuringus, and this is called the salt marsh mosquito because they breed in salt marshes and they hatch in very large numbers. They have the ability to move with the coastal winds up to 25 miles to find a blood meal. And their eggs will usually hatch when they get wetted by the next tide. And then there's Culex nigropalis. So they breed in permanent or semi-permanent water. They like really dirty water with decaying leaves or some sort of like rotten vegetation. They are actually vectors of West Nile virus and St. Louis encephalitis. So very serious diseases. They prefer to feed at dawn and dusk. So definitely during those hours, if you have to be outside, wear long sleeves, long pants, socks, shoes that cover your feet, and try to wear some sort of EPA-approved repellent, follow the label instructions, and try to do all you can to protect yourself from mosquitoes, especially during dawn and dusk. Then we have Anopheles Quadramaculatus. This is also known as the malaria mosquito. They like to breed in permanent water, so they don't have to wait for a high tide or anything like that. They can breed in just permanent standing water. And they prefer to also feed at dawn and dusk. So again, another reason to make sure that you have yourself covered and protected during those hours if you have to be outside. And in 2003, 7 cases of locally acquired malaria were actually discovered in Palm Beach County. So it is still relevant here. We don't want you to get malaria, of course, so that's why mosquito control is so important. But these are not old diseases that are just gone. They are still prevalent, and they are still something that we look out for, especially here in Florida. But vaccines are available for malaria, so you can talk to your doctor about that. Then we have Culicida Melanora, and this one likes to breed in woodland swamps. They prefer to usually feed on birds. They're the ones that vector eastern equine encephalitis, and they keep the virus going from bird to bird. So this one is important to control because they're the primary vector that keeps that triple E alive in the swampy areas. And then we have Cochleatidia perturbans. This is the one, if you saw previously through the open house, they breathe through the stem or root of cattails. So they're very hard to control because they don't breathe at the surface of the water, and they're not easy for us to see or control as larvae because we can't see them. So we don't know that they're there unless we go out in the airboat, dig up the cattails, pull them up, and search through the roots ourselves. So these can be quite difficult to control. They're also a bridge vector of triple E, and what I mean by bridge vector is that once the Culicida melanora and the birds keep the triple E going, and that cycle between the birds and the Culicida melanora, Cochleatidia comes in, bites a bird, and then they'll go back and bite a human, and then that's how that transmission occurs. And if you can see a trend here, they also like to feed at dawn and dusk. The triple E is very deadly in horses. There is a vaccine available for horses though. So if you have horses, and I know a lot of people do here in Citrus County, please talk to your veterinarian about getting them vaccinated because it is something that you can prepare for and prevent. And we're almost done here, but next up we have Ferrox, which this one is really easy to tell from other mosquitoes because they have a white foot on their back legs. They hatch out of shallow wet areas like swamps and fields, and they are a very large aggressive biter that also hatches off in very large numbers. So if you see a large mosquito with white feet, that's what that is, the Ferrox. They are a very pretty mosquito, but we don't want them biting us still. If their breeding source is found, then they can be easily controlled. And then over here we have Aedes infirmatus, which is the floodwater mosquito. They're a pretty big nuisance species, and they're also a vector of dog heartworm. So that's another preventable, animal vectored or mosquito vectored animal disease. So definitely talk to your veterinarian about getting some sort of preventative going on for dog heartworm. We don't want to forget our dogs and our horses and our animals. They're just as important as protecting people from mosquitoes as well. And then lastly, we have the Aedes albopictus. This one is called the Asian tiger mosquito, and they're what we call container breeders. So any container holding water around your property or around urban areas like buckets, bird baths, tree holes, toys, bottle caps, chip bags, to-go containers, anything that holds water, they will lay their eggs in. And she lays her eggs on the sides of containers just above the water line so that once it fills up, the eggs will hatch. And she is an all-day biter. So dawn, dusk, morning, afternoon, all day, she's ready to take a blood meal from you. So these are very important mosquitoes that we want to control because they vector dengue, chikungunya, Zika, just very serious diseases that we don't want our citizens to have. So these are very easy for homeowners and everyday people to control by just simply dumping out all water every 3 days on your property, being mindful of those areas that can breed mosquitoes. Like if you have a bucket on your property, tip it over or get rid of the bucket. That way they don't have anywhere for water to fill up in the first place. Aedes aegypti is also one that looks very similar to this and has very similar behaviors, and they also vector the same diseases, and they are starting to reappear more in our area of Florida. So these are definitely ones that you can help us combat and fight. We all have to stick together and fight the bite. So definitely do those home inspections, walk around your yard, check those areas, and make sure that you're doing your part to not breed mosquitoes for your neighbors. And that is all of our species that we are primarily on the lookout for this mosquito season. If you have any questions, you can give us a call or reach out to us here at our headquarters, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have or give you some more information. But yeah, just try to stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you next time.